Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki Jai. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, 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 Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram. Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Suratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Rama 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 Ram 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama Ram Rama 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 Ram Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama Rama Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Rama 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 Ram 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Rama 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 Ram 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 Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama Rama Ram Rama 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 Ram Rama Rama Ram Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jai Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Suratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar arpanamastu. We have, with deep gratitude, offered the Nama lotuses at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Now today we started only at 6:30 because, as usual, it's been the tradition for so many years now that on every Friday evening from 6 to 6:30 there would be
an August performance by our Asthana Vidwan, Bhikshandi. So, the chanting would start only at 6:30, and now it's about 7:20. Let me finish the satsang by 7:30. Today is very special. Otherwise, we would stop with a prayer. Today is Bhagwan's Guru Bhai, Swami Satchidananda Maharaj. His birthday, his Jayanti day, celebrated in Anandashram as well, and by devotees all over the world. A very special day, because when you enter Anandashram, you could instantly feel, and with intensity, the Ananda, the bliss of Papa Ramdas, and the love, the divine love of Mataji Krishna Bai, and the loving service, humble and loving service of Swami Satchidananda Maharaj. You could feel them vibrantly because they have made their impression, deep impressions in the atmosphere of Anandashram. And today we all have something to learn from Swami Satchidananda Ji. By his own example, I remember three important things about what he wrote. He said in the beginning, when Papa Ramdas initiated him into Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, he used to get doubts. It's only understandable. And he would write it down very carefully for clarification from Papa Ramdas. But Papa Ramdas would avoid him. Every time he approached, he would be indifferent and move away. And then one day he called him and said, "Look, if you chant the name, the mantra given by Ramdas properly, you would not get any doubts at all. Now that you have many doubts, it can only show that you are not chanting your Nama properly. Enough. You chant the mantra incessantly, and you would see there would be no questions at all in the mind." What a blessing! What a teaching! In fact, our minds are full of only doubts and not of Nama. All the time, at every step, we are inflicted with doubts. Why? Because the mind is full of doubts, there's no place for Nama. So let's fill our minds with Nama so there would be no place for doubts, for no place for questions. The Nama would dissolve all your questions. Sometimes it solves and sometimes it dissolves. And the ultimate aim of Nama chanting is dissolution, not just solution to problems. But it is dissolution of the mind. And the second point that he made in his write-up, which I read quite some time back, says that he soon understood sitting in deep meditation would not do when you are in ashram. The ashram demands service from us. There would be people coming to seek solace and succor. And you cannot just go and sit in meditation. Every moment, the ashram demands service from you. And that servitude must be humble servitude. And it must be a service. It must be done with a smile and kindness. And it must be done for the sake of the Guru, for the sake of our great master. The great master, out of his infinite compassion and mercy, has brought you here for the Seva. It's a great fortune. Realizing that a great fortune has been given to you, every moment that you spend in the ashram must be given to this humble servitude, a smiling service with kind words. One should not be rude to people at the slightest provocation. We become rude and we speak unkind words. Already people are coming to the ashram seeking solace. They have problems outside and they come here seeking solution and peace. The least we can do is serve them with a smile. Bhagwan would see to the rest. So Swami Satchidananda says, it is even higher than sitting in deep meditation. Ultimately, after realization of the self, it becomes very natural, the service to mankind, compassionate servitude. Until then, we have to practice it. And then the third one, he said, whenever he had to prostrate to Papa Ramdas and Mataji Krishnabai, he understood he had to do it as an offering of himself to the all-pervasive, all-knowing, all-powerful, ultimate, the supreme God. That a namaskar is not to be done in a hurry as a routine salutation. It should be done with your being, your entire being, as an offering to the infinite, to dissolve in it, to become one with it. The Guru is an universal being. He has already become one with the universal being. He is a cosmic being. And every time you prostrate to the Murti of Bhagwan, you must remember this Murti is an embodiment of the ultimate bliss, the ultimate love, the ultimate peace. It is the embodiment of Satchit Ananda. And we do our namaskaram, it's an offering of our ego. It is a prayer that I submit my entire being at your feet. I submit my ego. Please take over. Take over my thoughts, my words, my deeds. This should be our attitude, not only to the Murti of Bhagwan, but to everyone. Every time we prostrate before somebody, an elderly person or a person, a very well respected, or to anyone who is in a position to deserve it, our attitude must be, we should do it to every being actually, because God resides in every being, every creature. He resides in an ant, a worm, a stone. We are all familiar with the stone. The linga that you see in the Samadhi, in the Arunachaleshwar Mandir, or the murtis. Many, many murtis in temples are made of stone. But why would you go and pray before that? Because you know it is not just stone, it is Chaitanya. It grants your prayers. So God resides in every creature. And if you want to be a cosmic being like the great master, you have to act out in that attitude. Prostrate before every being as an offering to the divine inside that being. So this was the third lesson that I learned from Swami Satchidananda's write-up. Just see how beautifully he developed, blending himself with the ashram needs. This every sadhak, every sevak must remember and act out meticulously. Let us never be rude to anybody. Who are we to get angry with anyone? How are we above them? When it comes to service, it should be a humble offering to the divine, to our Gurudev. We are doing it only for Bhagwan's sake. We are doing it only for our Guru's sake. I often used to say in the Satsang before that it is being done by the divine in you, to the divine in the other, for the sake of the divine, for the reasons known only to the divine. So I would say it's from Yogi Ramsuratkumar to Yogi Ramsuratkumar, by Yogi Ramsuratkumar, for Yogi Ramsuratkumar. And that way neither you nor the receiver exist. Only he. Bhagwan says, my Father alone exists. There is nothing else, no one else. So when you serve, you are serving Yogi Ramsuratkumar in the visiting devotee. And the least we can do is be kind. So let's remember this. I remember one more incident which shows the attitude that he developed during his sadhana period. When one of the visiting devotees was late to the railway station and his train had already departed. So he missed the train. When he complained, Swami Satchidananda said, look, why do you think that you were late and you missed the train? You were so early for the next train. You have come early for the next train. So this is the way we have to handle. Bhagwan often said that everything is progress. Everything that happens in life happens by the will of God, by the grace of God. And therefore Bhagwan said everything is progress. Everything is a gain. Everything that happens is only auspicious. There is nothing inauspicious at all. There is no amangal. Because everything happens only by God's will, and whatever comes from God can only be a blessing. Contextually, it may look like anything, it may look like a negative happening, and yet you would understand after some time how it was a blessing. So let us remember all these teachings which the great masters lived. And it's for up to us to practice and make it natural for ourselves. Let us submit our today's prayer to Bhagwan. Bhagwan, we all know that Chennai is floating. The same streets where the vehicles were flying hurriedly. Now the boats are moving. And there's no electricity. People have been cut off from their normal life and suffering in many ways. We pray to you, Bhagwan, we beg you and pray, because that's all we can do, for your immediate divine intervention to give relief to these suffering people. Have you not said you are the cosmic controller? I am the cosmic controller. I run the whole cosmos. You have declared, and we appeal to your compassion and mercy for your immediate caretaking the people of Chennai and elsewhere where there is a similar situation. We beg you, Bhagwan, to free the entire humanity from the clutches of these virulent viruses that affect the body and the mind. Yes, the mind as well. All the unwanted things have to be uprooted from the mind, and it's possible only by your grace. So we beg you again and again, 1,000,000 times, for constant remembrance of your name, knowing that it's only while we remember the name, we remember God, and remembering God is living in God. We beg you for your protection and all-round welfare of the people who are serving selflessly, unmindful of their own discomfort, wherever the services are needed. And finally, we seek your blessings for being a good instrument in your hands so that we could run our everyday life as an offering to you. And now we pray for that ultimate blessing, the supreme grace, for complete purification of our mind, our heart, so that we could see only your vibrant presence everywhere, in everyone and in everything, and forever and ever. And we beg you to be able to see in all happenings of life, in all happenings of the world, your special leelas, meant for our own welfare, And Bhagwan, most importantly, even in the most cruel sufferings of life, we should be able to see your hidden grace meant for our spiritual growth, meant for a push towards you, and reconcile and accept everything as a blessing from you. We beg you again and again, soulfully and intensely, for that eternal living in you, the eternal entity. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.